Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
The second difference between people today and people of Genesis chapter 6 in Noah's day, and I'll put on my tinfoil hat for this one, but you'll have to excuse me because I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to apologize for that. The people in the days of Noah in Genesis chapter 6 were hybrids between demons and the daughters of men. The Nephilim are a thing. And I don't believe that the Nephilim, the sons of God, were just, princes and civil magistrates, in a human sense. I think that that's a sophisticated but warped interpretation of the biblical text. That's not what sons of God means in any other portion. You look at Job, the sons of God, they came before God. It's talking about angels. It's talking about angels. And what we see in Genesis chapter 6 is that there were fallen angels who came to the world. They found the daughters of men. So you have fallen angels, demons, finding women, human women, attractive, and they married them and produced offspring. And I believe that one of their motivations for doing so was because they were trying to ultimately snuff out and pervert the messianic line. They were trying to snuff out the messianic line. And this is a constant theme that we find throughout the entirety of the Old Testament, leading up all the way to the New Testament. Pharaoh, unbeknownst to himself, he may not have been conscious of this, but it certainly was what he was doing. And if you don't think that Pharaoh was influenced by demonic forces, then, I've got a bridge to sell you. So Pharaoh is a tool. He's a puppet being used by the enemy. And what he's trying to do in killing all the Hebrew boys in Israel, it's on the surface level. In Pharaoh's intent, consciously, he's thinking, I'm going to suppress the potential uprising, the potential threat of these Hebrews. But at a deeper level, whether Pharaoh is conscious of this or not, he's being influenced by Satan, and Satan's motivation is, I'm going to snuff out the line, because Satan was there that day. Don't forget, in Genesis chapter 3, the serpent, he was there that day when God prophesied, he promised, right? And said that by the seed of the woman, right, you're going to strike his heel, but he will crush your head. So Satan knew all the way back from the garden, Satan knew that one day there would be a son that would come from the woman. There would be a descendant who would come from the woman, and that descendant would be his arch nemesis and who would ultimately defeat him in glorious battle, crush his head. And all along, Satan has filled the hearts of men in order to snuff out that messianic line. His first attempt was with Cain. His first attempt was, and that's, just so you know, that's, what's the politically correct language? Because you guys know that I care about that. It's how to feed two birds with one scone instead of kill two birds with one stone. Have you heard that? Hilarious. All right, so how to kill, let's say it the right way, kill two birds with one stone. What if Abel is the son that God spoke of? Your offspring will crush his head. But wait, what if it's Cain? Well, I can take them both out in one foul swoop. How? I could possess the heart of Cain to disqualify himself by doing evil, and the evil that I'll inspire him to do, that I'll tempt him to do, is to murder and kill his brother. So Abel now can't defeat me because he's dead, and neither can Cain because he's disqualified. Right? So all along, we see whether it's Abel and Cain, the line of Cain, Lamech, right? Lamech was a wicked man, and it's not a coincidence that he's the first person who takes two wives. He's going to have more offspring. It's perverting the line over and over and over and over again. And that's what we see leading all the way up to Israel and Egypt and Pharaoh trying to kill all the Hebrew boys. Then you see it again with Herod. Right? Herod knows a king's going to be born. On the surface level, Herod is saying, I don't want anybody to threaten my political kingdom. I want to be the king of kings. I don't want somebody else to be king over me. That's the surface level as far as Herod's concerned. But behind the scenes, we have demonic forces that are real. Our battle's not just against flesh and blood, but against principalities, demonic forces. Satan is influencing Herod and saying, well, Herod may be concerned about his temporal earthly kingdom and being the biggest king around, in a political, earthly sense right now, right here. But I'm concerned that Jesus, the King of Kings, he's the guy who's going to come and crush my head. And so he inspires Herod to kill all these boys in Bethlehem. And we see that again. That's the theme you see over and over and over again. And one of the ways that Satan tried to snuff out the line, those are multiple examples, but one of them is by polluting the line of men through Nephilim, through fallen angels, the sons of God. I believe that that's what the Bible teaches. I don't think you have to church it up or be sophisticated. I think you can just believe the Bible.